the experience was phenomenal because I literally like stumbled into a revelation just by being here, and just because of the topic that you're bringing to the party. And so I just have stuffed my face on all this goodness and I'm leaving really excited about that. Like, that was really good. And my advice would be 100% show up for this. You just don't know what, it's like I feel like I'm getting a to-go box full of just really good food, because I stuffed my face while I'm here on the relationships and the connections, meeting new people and all of that. But then my to-go box is like full of this yummy dessert that I'm gonna wait to have when I get home with coffee, and it's just good. So show up, do this, don't miss it.
I love your metaphor, your food metaphors. That's awesome. Thank you, Beulah.
Thank you so much.
I always like to be part of any event or any initiative that you do, because I always go out was very energized and very happy and like dedicated, and it's like back on track and stuff. So it's no surprise that I always enjoy that, that. And the other thing is I always meet new people that I learn a lot from them about them and about myself. And I always something that you just like explore about possibilities that you did not think is possible. So I love that. And then the good people that you meet, I always connect with them after, and then I enlarge my group of connection and people that they will be a supportive network. The why wouldn't I have joined? I missed the last time because I was a last minute that had been called to a meeting. And it's always that it's a time sensitivity because of my commitments and stuff, but I made sure that I made the time and I booked the time, and I just like shut down all the other phones and calls and anything. And I don't know what's going to be a disaster after when I get back, but I felt that I owe myself that. I owe myself to be among people that they would definitely have an insight on what I have to say. And I came here with no expectations. I just wanted to explore whatever is going to be there and what conversation I'm going to be taking. And I was not disappointed the least. Like, it was beautiful. And I thank everybody who was here to contribute to that experience. Thank you so much.
So, it's not always easy to be vulnerable. And Elizabeth, as you and I talked about when I filled out the form. And I think one of the advantages of this type of a setting is not knowing everything about everyone in the group, not having all of that information shared about what your business is, where you're at, so that the expectation is not there. And so it made it easier to be vulnerable with others than if they knew exactly what my business was, what I do, all of that. It just made it, I don't necessarily understand it all, but it made it easier to be vulnerable.
I didn't have a doubt. I've been to a virtual dinner party before, not one of yours. I actually liked this one better. I don't know it's probably because the questions were more on point for my particular business. I did have a concern about time. And I have got to find more time to actually implement things that I know I need to do. But so my experience was great. It was almost like a mastermind, but with heart, if that makes sense. And my advice would be to, as these VDPs proliferate, find the one that is most aligned with what you need in your business and keep going to that.
I know, having come to several of the VDPs, I know that this is such a supportive entrepreneurial community. Nowhere else do I have access to people that I can sit around like in the living room and say, this is what I'm struggling with, and know that I will be heard and not be fixed, right? Nobody's going to try and fix me or, none of that stuff. It's just, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur too. And I get that. I get it. I understand. The empathy part of it is priceless. It's priceless. So that allows me, and I'm sure everybody else, but it allows the experience of the space, this mental and physical spaciousness to be able to think for myself in the environment of knowing that I have all of these experienced, successful people around me and people who are having similar struggles that I can help too. I'm not, I actually have some value to add too. So, when it comes to advice for people who are thinking about, well, should I go to this thing or not? Try it. I think everybody needs to try everything once. And as an entrepreneur, when you put entrepreneurs together, as entrepreneurs, we are people who, take the risk, and are willing to look at our stuff and do something about it so that we know it's going to help other people. If you are wanting to be that kind of entrepreneur, then absolutely come to these things, come to these gatherings, because you will be changed and your business will be changed.
Doubt or concern was I didn't really know what was going to happen here. So that made it, I'm very, very cautious about putting in meetings into my calendar because like even this week it's like so full. So I have hardly any time to work. So I'm very picky about that. So the doubt was, am I going to get value from being here? Especially because it's 1.5-hour meeting, which is quite long for me to carve out the time. What I experienced was it really sort of showed me that there's a possibility of me incorporating story, which is something I kind of made a resolution in the new year to do, and isn't kind of fallen to the wayside. And now I've kind of reinvigorated at least a small plan of attack to try to keep it going for the rest of the year and hopefully incorporate it. And what would I say for someone who's on the fence about coming here would be if they really want to incorporate story and that is something they feel very like it's a value to them, then I would definitely recommend them to join this because it at least gets you thinking about how you can approach it and even get started, I think.
Like everyone else, it seems that our time is so precious to us that we are always concerned. However, I was not concerned that I would get value because I have been to other events run by Elizabeth and I know she's terrific at this. So I had no questions about the quality, and yes, it was very valuable for me. So what I would tell others is if you don't know how to use a story in your business, you need to find out. And Elizabeth will help you. And this kind of venue and this kind of format will help you.
Let's see, a doubt or concern was the time factor. I'm a successful business owner and launching a coaching business. And so there's 3 o'clock mornings sometimes involved, but so the time factor, but I knew it would be worth it. And I knew it was yours, Elizabeth. And I wanted to make sure to support you and to be here. And time again, when I come to show up and support, it's just like all of this amazing solutions and relationships, everything come flooding back. And so this is where we find quality relationships and quality connections and quality solutions from other successful entrepreneurs. And so very, for someone sitting on the fence, it is worth it. It's worth the 3 o'clock morning to get other stuff done, to come and just try it out. Yeah, again, you won't regret it.
Subject matter also was definitely something that can benefit me and my business and in my reach, reaching out to people and my impact in the world. So being here, I got clear on action steps I can take in that realm, and also a little bit more validated as to how important it really is. And that I'm not the only one that struggles. Other people are struggling too with how to fine tune that and how to make it impactful for their people. And so I got a lot of support and a lot of empathy. And of course, that is always something that I can feel good about. And as far as what I would say to somebody on the fence about coming to one of these events, especially with Elizabeth, would be, I honestly don't know why you would be on the fence. I mean, it's just a yummy place to be, like Viola helped us notice, but anytime that you can dive in and learn a little bit more about yourself, but at the same time get helpful tips on how to move forward and get some expertise from someone like you, Elizabeth, that has the expertise to offer it, and for free, like without anyone trying to sell you anything, or it's the perfect place. Like, it's just brilliant. I don't understand why anyone would be like, oh, I don't know. The only reason would be because they don't know yet. So I would just say, just give it a shot.